St. Peter's Field for PEGTV Channel 15 Sports. We have varsity baseball action for you. MSJ in Hartford. And you're looking at Ryan Carter. He'll be on the mound for the Bounties, the big righty. And Hartford will be at the plate first. They'll have the red uniforms on in their order. Looks like this. He'll have Sean Stone coming to the plate, batting number 1. Pat Riley will be batting number 2. A.J. Hamill will be in the third spot, and batting cleanup will be Riley Flanagan. And for the Mounties, you'll have Bill Scholdice behind home plate doing the catching. Will Haddock will be at first base. Colin McCormick is at second. Ryan Gilbert, your shortstop. Mike Sorelli's at third. In the outfield, we'll have a left fielder, Rich Cussell. Nolan Rhodes in center field, and Eric Gladbush will get the start in right field. And of course, MSJ with that 4-2 record, being coached by Glenn Carter. And this is a big matchup today. It's a league matchup. And Carter with a long look in will get set, and the big wind-up, and the first pitch will be just nothing but pure heat past the swing of Sean Stone. So we're underway, scheduled for 7. MSJ with wins in the league already over Brattleboro and MAU. And they'll be outside. They'll even everything up at 1 ball, 1 strike, and an outfield playing pretty much, well, I want to say straight away, but they're actually shading toward the first base side in anticipation of Stone not being able to get around and pull Carter. Again, it's a very cold day, very raw day, and it has been raining right up until the first pitch. You might see some umbrellas in the background today from the crowd. So Carter, to the leadoff batter, will have that pitch lifted toward the gap and fading back, and making the catch for the first out will be Ladbush. So they had the outfield position exactly where they would like it, and that becomes a fly out to the right fielder, Ladbush. 1 up, 1 down, and now Riley, who will be the third baseman for Hartford when they come up defensively in the bottom of the first. They're going to have Nick Avery be the Hartford pitcher. So Carter, one of the keys to Carter is to get off to a quick start, get his confidence going, find a couple pitches that he can really have command of. And of course, it's very well documented how hard he can throw the ball. He's got the knuckle curve, the changeup. And it's just finding out which pitches are going to work for you, because a pitcher will tell you not every game you'll have everything work the same way for him. You'll have one, for some reason, one pitcher will work better than the other, and that's just, again, nothing but the Carter Express right there as he blows it by Riley. So quickly an 0-2 count on Riley, bases clear, and 1 down. And Carter, I always liked Carter pitching from the full windup as opposed to the, oh, he got him looking, that was the curveball, and he got him on the breaking ball. 2 up, 2 down, first strikeout of the ball game for Carter, and that'll bring up A.J. Hamill, the first baseman for Hartford. And again, just quickly going over that defense for you. Haddock, McCormick, Gilbert, and Sorelli on the infield. Cussell, Rhodes, and Ladbush the outfield. Carter and Scholdice, that's the battery for MSJ. 4 wins, 2 losses, and have been in every ball game they have played this year. Very good team on the field for Coach Ryan Carter. The big loss for Coach Carter was his shortstop, Brian O'Rourke, with, I don't know the technical aspect or the correct medical lingo, but he has some type of knee injury, and again, not here at the ball game today. And that'll be to the backstop, as that one in the dirt, hard off the backstop, and recovered by Scholdice, and they'll get a new ball thrown out to Carter. Again, a website for Channel 15, PEGTV, is an easy one to remember. It's www.pegtv.com. And not only can you get all types of information about scheduling and about the station itself, but you can also click on video on demand and watch games and talk shows and sporting events and any other type of event right there on your computer at home. It's a great feature now that they've updated the website at pegtv.com. If Hamill finds a way to get on base against Carter, it'll be Flanagan batting cleanup. Oh, great pitch. Tell you right now, Hamill not in agreement with the home base umpire, but it's not where the catcher catches the ball. It's where that ball crosses the plate. And now with 2 strikes on Hamill, Carter looking to retire the side in order. Went back to the breaking ball, and that's going to be the shortstop deep in the hole. Gilbert with a long throw, not going to get him. Nice job by Haddock coming off the bag to keep the ball from going out of play and allowing the runner to go to second base. And again, he went to the breaking ball on a 2-strike count, got away with it last time, and Hamill able to pull it deep into the hole, where Gilbert made a nice play on it, but it was just almost on the outfield grass when he made the throw. So they'll have an infield single unofficially in my book. And Flanagan, the cleanup hitter, is at the plate. So for the first time this afternoon, We'll watch Mr. Carter pitch from the stretch. Hadeka at first base is holding the runner on defensively over there, and Carter with a decent move to first. Not only does he have a good move to first, but he throws the ball over there extremely hard. And I'm not sure where that pitch was, and it was called a ball. And if it missed anything, I had to be just a tad bit high. And again, the field is wet. The infield gravel, the dirt part's in great condition. Drains well here, very well groomed field. The grass is fantastic shape. I love to take it home to my beat up lawn. But there is that wet surface on the grass from the rain, and that's what you got to be careful of as an infielder, obviously, with the ball skipping by you, but also as the outfielders, as you're trying to charge the ball, it'll take those hydroplane skips, I call them, on you. And what it does to the outfielders, because of the quickness when it skips off the wet surface, is it makes those gaps between center and right and center and left seem bigger than they are because the ball gets there quicker. So Carter with a 2-ball, 1-strike count will take a look at that target from Schuldice and just again elevate the fastball, and no way he could catch up to it. Flanagan couldn't. And 2 strikes on Flanagan. Now let's see if Carter will come back with the heater, the changeup, or come back with the breaking ball. The breaking ball's worked on a 3rd strikeout, a pitch called for a 3rd strike, and then on a strike 3 curveball, the batter is able to pull the ball through the hole. He went to the heater, and that's the inning. They'll strand 1, Carter will strike out 2, and at the end of half inning of play, we're scoreless. Back of the red jersey, number 22, that's Nick Avery. He'll have Ryan McGuire behind the dish. That's the battery for Hartford. A.J. Hammond will play first base. Ryan Wetzel is at second. Sean Stoninger shortstop. Pat Riley's at third base. Colin McCormick's your leadoff batter. As MSJ up for the first time today, and that pitch will be right there for a strike called. It'll be Colin McCormick, Ryan Gilbert, Will Hadeka, and Bill Schuldice will be batting in the cleanup spot today for MSJ. And that one high, and he went for it on the inside portion of the plane. Quickly down in the count, 0-2. The outfield for Hartford has Riley Flanagan in left field. Your center fielder is Logan Skelza, and Tim Watley is the right fielder. And that just missed. Avery bouncing around on the rubber, thought he had strike 3. And again, they're playing very, very deep at the corner at third in case they want to drop a bunt here. I know there's 2 strikes and all, but McCormick works the count very well, knows the strike zone. He's gone from an 0-2 count now to a 2-2 count. One thing the umpire, I believe that's Tim Barrett behind home base, and Craig Pettis looks like he's the field base umpire. Yeah, right there, I was going to say. The umpire will make sure they have a good, steady supply of dry baseballs whenever they ask for it, the pitchers on either side. So a 2-2 count to the leadoff batter in the bottom of the first for MSJ. And it'll work it now to a full count. So, again, McCormick does such a good job of finding a way to get on base from that top of the order. And Gilbert on deck. They'll wind up the pitch and got him looking. He'll catch the outside corner, and he will become the first out via the strikeout in the ballgame. Now Ryan Gilbert, the shortstop, up. Remember, Carter for MSJ retired the first 2 batters before that infield single. It was a harmless hit in the end as they were unable to advance the runner around, but Gilbert, and one thing you got to start keeping track of is what does Avery get into a rhythm of as far as, like, is he a first pitch fastball pitcher? Right there was a breaking ball in the first pitch. He comes back with the fastball, and he'll miss with both, and he'll be 2-0 in the count. Lots of baseball action left in the month of May for MSJ, and I'll have probably 99% of those games for you on Channel 15 Sports. Got Mill River softball action. Jessica McDonald indicating down at Mill River with a lot of home games in May, and I'll have those for you. CSJ completed their schedule. CSJ women's softball action. The month of April kept me busy with a bunch of doubleheaders. Now they're out to the regional national tournament. And that pitch will be outside, so Avery been up and down in the count on the first 2 hitters. Will Hadeka, the first baseman, will be batting left-handed. He's on deck for MSJ. So Avery taking a little bit of time between the last pitch and this pitch, just kind of composing himself, and that'll be a walk. So MSJ will have Gilbert at first base, and so a strikeout and a walk here by Avery of Hartford. And Gilbert with pretty decent speed down there. Of course, in Coach Carter's lineup, in Coach Carter's game plan, everybody is a potential base stealer. So he likes to get aggressive on the bases. And Hadeka, he's just been having a great season. He's hit the ball well, he's fielded well, and the games that I have seen and done, he has pitched well. There's the move back to first, and diving back safely was Gilbert. That was a pretty decent move also from Nick Avery, the right-handed pitcher for Hartford. Of course, you know what I'm going to say next. Let me get the pitch in here. Left-handed batter. They're holding the runner on at first base. If Haddock can pull the ball, he's got quite a gap between that first and second baseman to drive the ball through. And they're back again, and he's safe again. So both teams able to get a runner on in their first at bats. Jerry Munger, Munger Vision, glad you're here watching the ball game on PEGTV. That'll be low for a ball. You know, a lot of times too, pitchers can get over occupied with the runners on base and forget about taking care of the batter at the plate, and that leads into falling behind in the count, throwing balls, and have to come in with a, well, not predictable pitch, but a pitch you can sit on, like a fastball down in the count. Good pitch. No, good pitch to watch go by. And I have to tell you, the outfield here is playing basically straight away. They're not favoring him pulling the ball or not being able to pull the ball. And he was back safe. I was just pacing behind the camera and didn't have my am in position to move the ball, the handle over toward first base. So from the stretch, Avery will 1 out, 1 on, and Haddock out. The runner is going. He picked a great pitch to go on. Yeah, that's a good job of picking the pitches. Gilbert will steal second base. You could see that it was a ball in the dirt and a hard one for the catcher to come up with cleanly. And so the runner will advance down to second base. Now Haddock with a position here, with the runner in scoring position to get a timely hit and put the MSJ squad up early in the contest on their home field. And that's off the fist, and it'll be back onto River Street out of play. So a good swing with 2 strikes. And again, you want to protect the plate and stay alive and not look at one go by you for strike 3. And something Willie's done very well this year has been make contact with 2 strikes on him. You see a pretty decent lead by Gilbert, and that'll come inside, and it'll be another walk, and that'll put runners at first and second. So after starting the game off with a strikeout of McCormick, he has walked Gilbert and Haddock and set the table now for one of the better hitters in the lineup, Bill Scholdice, the catcher. Scholdice, good contact hitter, but he has very good power. They'll back up at third base on the corner there, and that's going to be Pat Riley at third base, the defensive player. And yeah, I'm not saying don't you believe it. He showed bunt, pulled the bat back, and took a strike on the outside corner. The defense doesn't bite. They've got everybody deep at the corner still. There is 1 out, and the Mounties with a first inning threat here. Oh, and he's going to drive that ball. And he's going to drive it over the head of the center fielder. You can see the lead run coming in. And they're going to send the second runner around, and that's going to be 2 RBIs. Yes, so Scholdice right there. I told you when they showed bunt, I said, don't you believe it. And that's why right there, the big guy, the catcher, got all that ball and drove it out to center field for a 2 RBI double, 1 down. So those walks came back to hurt. Now Avery issuing those free passes, and Scholdice able to pick them up. And I just want to move the tripod. I got this thing about keeping them in picture level. I'm not sure if the umpire's talking about the move, the contact with the rubber, or if they don't like the positioning of the rubber or whatever, but they're having a little discussion. They're waiting for the courtesy runner to come on right now, and Bill Scholdice will head to the bench, get his catcher's gear all set, and that's Will Champagne, number 12, who's come out to become the courtesy runner. So MSJ with a 2-0 lead with still only 1 out and a runner in scoring position. And Mike Sorelli, the third baseman, getting up there for MSJ and getting set to swing the bat. That was quite a hit over the center fielder's head. Skelza got back and just couldn't catch up with it. That was a great rip. Oh, he liked that pitch, and he wasn't shy about it. He went chopping at it. He put all 110 pounds into that, let me tell you. So they'll get set to do it again. Just the kind of start you want if you're the home team. Especially on a day that threatens rain and could shorten the game. And that's going to be up the middle, and that's going to Champagne. I don't know. He was hesitant to go to third base. He had to wait, make sure it wasn't caught. Sorelli caught in a pickle. No, he's going to be back. And what happened there? And they're going to throw it. I can't believe it. Yeah. everybody will be safe at first and third. Nobody was on the bag to throw the ball to, and then the pitcher at the last second realized there's a man on third base, so he turned around and gave up on chasing him down, and that's going to be an RR single for Sorelli. I'll put runners at the corners for Ryan Carter. And again, I know a lot of big hitters are good batters or power hitters like Carter. They don't like the people running on base ahead of them. Breaks their concentration with the movement, but also the fact that if the pitcher keeps throwing over to first base, that doesn't allow the batter to get a rhythm. You think the pitcher needs a rhythm to pitch, so doesn't the batter. The batter needs a rhythm, and they're going to concede the base shot. And that didn't take long, and I like that move right there. Puts two runners in scoring position, but with a guy like Carter at the plate, you're in scoring position at first base because he can leave the yard with the long ball. He's a powerful young man. That's a good pitch. That was a real good pitch. Dropped right off the table at the knee for a strike. So MSJ with 2 runs in and runners at second and third. Only one down here in the bottom of the first for MSJ. He committed. That's going to be a breaking ball he could not hold up on, and he'll be down 2 strikes now in the count. On a very cold, raw, rainy day. This is more like springtime in Vermont, not that 80-degree stuff we were having earlier. And they're going to send a runner. The runner will break, and he's coming in, and they won't have the play. One of the problems was the catcher right there had an awful time locating the ball. McGuire did behind the plate. And obviously Sorelli moved up. As Champagne scored, Carter now the runner at third, but the rest of the infielders have to communicate to the catcher if he's having trouble locating the ball, well, where it is. I mean, that ball's got no more than 5 to 6 feet away from the plate. So 3-0 MSJ against Avery. Came back with a big old breaking ball that didn't break, stayed high, and it'll be a ball obviously called to Carter. And I'll tell you, for a power hitter, Carter with very good patience at the plate. And he will draw the walk, and that'll be the 3rd walk of this inning. Now, I'm waiting to see if Coach Carter comes out with a courtesy runner for his pitcher. So far, I haven't seen anybody come up to the top of the dugout. Now I see the courtesy runner coming out. So they will have their 2nd courtesy runner of this inning. Remember, they ran for Schuldice, the catcher, and now they'll run for Carter, the pitcher. And I just need to see the jersey number of the young man who's gone out to take his spot. It looks like number 8, looks like Bizon, and that's who it is. John Bizon now will run for Carter. And again, see if they'll send Bizon on the steal from first to second with the runner at third. And Hartford last time in this position conceded the base. They didn't want to throw down and get in a bigger mess by having a runner release from third. In my opinion is, really, honestly, you've got a catcher. This is varsity baseball action. Throw the ball down. See if you can get the, see if you need the out. See if you can get the out. And that will trim the inside corner for a strike. Rich Cussell at the plate with Nolan Rhodes on deck. The throw over, and the runner will dive back safely. Now that's fine to keep the runner in check. Just got to remember, you got a runner at third base, which means keep the ball in play on the thrower to first. And there goes the runner, and he'll actually throw down and got him. And the run will score. They got the out and they got the run, so everybody kind of did what they wanted to. So Sorelli will score. They had to just delay on that. They tag out the runner, Richards, and I have no problem with what was done there. I don't like seeing the bases conceded, especially in the first inning. If this was the 7th inning of a very close ball game, then that would change the strategy. Now Hartford with 2 outs, and the Mounties with 4 runs in, and the base is clean now for Avery, who's had a very extended inning here. He's pitching to the 7th batter of this inning, and Cussell will take a strike. Avery working at a pretty good clip right now, too, catching and firing. Good eye by Cussell, so he'll lay off that. Looked like a sinker ball, but I don't know if he throws that or not, but it's really had down and away action. And Avery finds his target outside corner, and the pitch will be slapped over to first base, second base. It's going to be a base hit for Cussell, and he will keep the inning going. And that had just enough speed to get past the diving first baseman, and it had eyesight to avoid the second baseman. Now Rhodes will come up. And Cussell, I think, has got good speed. Like I said, everybody in Coach Carter's lineup is expected to attempt the steals. Whether or not they'll send Cussell here, we'll have to wait and see. Rhodes, the 8th batter in this inning. So a game that started in the rain. Right now, just a very light mist falling. The temperature, though, oh, that's what I worry about as a pitcher, is keeping loose between. This is a long inning for Carter not to be, you know, if he's loosening up or stretching or gets tight, and he's set back safe. And again, I had my hands in my pocket, warming up my hands. So after all is said and done and the dust settles, the pitch will be on the way. That's going to be just foul. Just foul. He pulled it, and he pulled it down the third baseline, and it's going to be a foul ball for Nolan Rhodes. He's a center fielder today, and we've seen him play on the infield, now out in center field, and batting in that number 8 spot, which means number 9 on deck will be Eric Latabush. And he's back safe this time. I have my hands on the tripod. Hope you've enjoyed all the spring sports, brought to you by Munger Vision on PEGTV Channel 15 Sports. Just missed low. Have the Thunderbirds AAU Bujani girls basketball tournament coming up. Now I'm tape delayed, so I understand this, but it'll be taking place May 10th and 11th, and I'm going to do a bunch of games, and they'll be on at your, you know, turn them on and watch them on Channel 15 or on the video on demand on the website, or you can find a way to watch them. You can start, oh, great pitch. Every Saturday, Tom Leipold, the Channel 15 program director, puts on games of the week, and that starts Saturday at 4 o'clock. So, you know, catch that action from the AAU Thunderbirds basketball tournament. He'll get them looking, and that's the inning, but the Mounties will come up with 4 runs, and they'll have a 4-0 lead at the end of 1. It's Ryan Carter with the 2 strikeouts in the first inning. He also gave up the infield single. He'll be looking at Nick Avery, Logan Skelza, and Ryan Wetzel due up for Hartford here in the top of the second, and that'll be ball 1. Again, long inning offensively for MSJ. That's a long time for Carter, the pitcher, not to be throwing. See if he's tight here, if he's got to get loosened up, or if he has a little problem finding his rhythm, but we'll have to wait and let the game unfold. That was a darn good pitch outside corner, and I'll leave the count out at 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, I always invite you to watch Sports Speed on Channel 15. That's my weekly talk show. It's on since 1995, November 95 actually. It's on Mondays at 4:30, Tuesdays at 5:30, and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Hope you tune in and watch it. It's not just about sports. There's a lot of other topics that I cover, but I just wound them up, blew it by them. See, I'm a very simple-minded old catcher. I'd just be having my guy toss that until they can prove they can hit me. We'll see what he does with the 2-strike count right here. Yeah, he elevated, came back with the fastball, and it just sailed out of his hand, and it'll be okay. Right now, Hartford is trying to get the leadoff batter on base. Like I said, Skelza and Wetzel, the next 2 due up, as they're to the middle to the bottom of their order right now. Oh, good night. He knew it the minute he threw it. How you can watch a pitch like that, and I'm not picking on Avery, but how you can watch a pitch like that with 2 strikes, you have to bear down and protect and expect to make contact, even if a foul ball with 2 strikes. So Skelza up now, the center fielder, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Carter. Now, in the MAU game that I did here in the MSJ win, he had 12 strikeouts in that ball game. And I believe he had 12 in the Rutland loss. But he is a power pitcher. He is a strikeout man. Bases are clear here for Hartford, and that'll be fouled out of play. Down the first baseline over toward the very swollen Otter Creek. Oh, again, I hope you enjoyed the college softball action from College of St. Joseph, the provider. It was a blast to do that level of softball action. Saw a lot of good games, a lot of good competition, and Lori Serrani over there, the head coach for CSJ, doing a very good job with that program. Like I said, they're off to the nationals or the regionals, whatever they're on the big screen, the big stage now. Again, I'd like to thank the MSJ community, the Athletic Association, the AD, the principal, And everybody allowed at MSJ, everybody at MSJ for allowing me to videotape their sports and then play it on Channel 15 public access television. And that was inside and tight. Now, Skell's a very small target to pitch to, but again, it's focus and concentration, and here comes the pitch right there, and they'll be fouled off into the screen. Schuldice will retrieve the ball and bring it back into Carter. The Mounties in the bottom of the first sent 8 batters to the plate, scoring 4 runs. And don't forget, starting in June, American Legion post 31 baseball action back on Munger Vision. I got a special treat coming up this Sunday, and I know I'm tape delayed, but it's got him. Just overpowered him. At least he went down swinging, and that makes me, as a coach, would make me happier than watching the ball go by. Going back to the strikeout that ended the first, that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Carter. Now Wetzel up for the first time. 4 strikeouts for the ball game. No walks yet, and just that little infield single by Hamill. So Carter looking for a 1-2-3 second inning. Oh, Sam Caruso, the MC of the Loyalty Day Parade, needed a cameraman. Guess who they got? Yeah, I'll be the cameraman on the Loyalty Day Parade. I hope you watch that on either the website or right there on the Channel 15 television. But that's coming up on Channel 15, and that'll fall off the table too far and be a ball on the outside corner, and 2 balls, no strikes to count. Carter, a junior, out there on the mound for the Mounties. Sorelli's at third base defensively. Gilbert's your shortstop. McCormick's at second, and Haddock is at first. Schuldice behind the plate framed that pitch very well for a strike called. And again, the outfield has Rhodes in center, Cussell in left, and Laddebush in right. And Carter, from the full windup, just overpowered him. I'll tell you what, his fastball is exploding today. Sometimes he throws a heavy ball. Today it's just an explosion, and they're all elevating, sometimes a little more than he wants, but they're all elevating, which I think is an awful good sign. If I'm the catcher, that would make me very happy. For the inning, that'll be fouled off and he'll stay alive. That's a good defensive 2-strike swing right there by Wetzel. If he can figure out how to get on base, that'll bring up the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Ryan McGuire, who is the catcher for Hartford. Got some other good news coming up for you. Either prolong this inning or the next inning. He elevated and can't get it. Got the Vermont All-Star Challenge basketball game on the 28th of June, starting at 1 o'clock and at 3 o'clock. The men and women of Vermont take on their men and women. Oh, he struck him out. He got the call, strike 3, and that will retire the side. He strikes him out to end the inning. Eric Laddebush will be the first batter up here for MSJ in the bottom of the second, and then on top of the order, Colin McCormick on deck, and then Ryan Gilbert. That's the 3 due up here to face Avery, the pitcher, and he'll get the strike call there, and we'll have a 1-1 count. Yes, the Western Massachusetts boys and girls high school all-star basketball teams will be coming to the College of St. Joseph the Provider on the 28th of June, and game number 1 will be at 1 o'clock, followed by the second All-Star game at 3 o'clock. And yes, I'll have them for you on an exclusive for PEGTV Channel 15 Sports Munger Vision. But you can also get to that beautiful college and watch the games in person. And that's going to be through the hole and going to be at least a single. And Laddebush has come up with some good hitting in the bottom of the order for MSJ this year. Thing about Laddebush also, he's got that good speed over at first base, so he's going to make the pitcher think a lot. McCormick up, he had a 3-2 count and took strike 3 looking, so he's going to get a second chance here to watch Avery stuff. Now Avery will go back to the stretch, and they will hold the runner on at first base with A.J. Hamill defensively. And well, I'll tell you what you missed was Hamill going up, skying, jumping a mile in the air to save that pickoff move and saved it from going out of play, and we would allow the runner to advance on. And Laddebush had a very conservative lead. And that will get the runner over there. Where is he? There he is. Tell you what, he certainly took his time getting down to second base. Coach Carter just hollered to him, what's with the late break? Yeah, I mean, I'm not criticizing him, but my God, I think he was like 1,001, 1,002, 1,003 or there before he left. That's a big-time wild pitch. Well, the reason this backstop's very close to home base now, it's not like the old days, the old backstop. That ball came right back to the catcher. He might have been able to make a play. That bunt will stay down. He's got one play, and he hesitated, and did they get him? They did get him, just by a nip. They got him over at first base. So that sacrifice laid down beautifully. We'll get the runner to third base with just one out now. And Ryan Gilbert up. He walked and scored and had a stolen base back in the first inning. We're only in the second, but the Mounties sent 8 batters to the plate in the first. And Avery threw a lot of pitches in that inning. And he won't get the benefit of that call. They say that was too far outside. It'll be a 1-ball, no strike count. We're in the second, 4-0 MSJ over Hartford in an MVL League matchup game here. And they'll be ball 2 and a good stop that time. Not very orthodox, but Ryan McGuire made the stop behind the plate. He elected to play it like a shortstop on the backhand instead of going to his knees and making himself big and let the ball come off his chest protector. And that'll be a ball. Avery struggled with his control in the first inning, as he had 3 walks unofficially in that first inning. Well, I'm looking at the book. It's not unofficial. He had 3 walks in that first inning. That's right there for a strike. And again, Avery catching and firing. He's not taking a lot of time, pacing himself between pitches. Oh, big swing and a miss on that breaking ball down and away. So Gilbert, when what I believe is a full count now, in the drizzle and the rain here at MSJ St. Peter's Field. Good job. Just got enough of it to stay alive with those 2 strikes on him. Mounties up by 4, and like I said, we're in the second, scheduled for 7. Yeah, so I brought you up to date on some of the other sporting events to be looking for in Munger Vision. That's a foul ball strike still, stays at 2 strikes. But you got the Crawley Road Race coming up. Yes, the Crawley Road Race, and that is a neat event. I got involved in it deeply with the Lannons, who are in charge of it last year, organize it and get it all together. Bill Rogers, the great distance runner, is going to be here this year. And he'll hold up and he'll walk, and they'll put runners at first and third, so the MSJ running game now will be put into motion. Hanukkah up. Willie Hanukkah had a walk and scored. Got walked and scored back in the first inning. Now, again, they're going to hold the runner on at first base, and that'll create a bigger hole for Hanukkah to hit through if he can pull the ball. But I don't think Gilbert's going to sit over there at first base long. Now, if he tries to steal back in the first inning, first time a runner tried to steal the runner at third, they conceded second base. The second time they actually threw down, and the runner scored from third. This time the runner at first, Gilbert, will stay in place. I wouldn't be surprised. I know the count is 1-ball, no strikes. He's back safe. A pitch out at this point might be a surprise element to call. Oh, but that Crawley Road Race, I actually taped the event from Proctor to Rutland, rode in the back of Greg Mayhew's pickup truck in head of the pack, and that is in the air mile. Will it stay in play? Oh, he's going to drop it. McGuire was fighting it all the way. There is hardly any breeze, if there's a breeze at all to speak of, and again, that is a big not made play. That would have been 2 outs, and that changes everything drastically. Runners at first and third, and McGuire just never really seemed to get comfortable and settle in underneath that pitch, and runner back safe again. So first and third with 1 out and 4 runs in on this point in the ball game for MSJ. They're up 4-0. He'll swing through for the strike to throw down to second, and he'll be safe. And they've got the play at home, and he's going to be out at home base. This time they brought the shortstop up to make the cutoff on the throw. And I was wondering why they didn't put that play on last time. Hanukkah now with a runner at second and 2 outs. Now, MSJ will be aggressive like that throughout the baseball game, throughout the baseball season as far as running. They slid the shortstop over Sean Stone. He cut the throw off going to second and then fired a nice throw to home base. That could drop in, and that's going to be, yeah, it's going to skip by and allow the run to come in. So Hanukkah will have the single to the gap, and he'll drop in. He's able to pull the ball and just get it into the gap in the right center field area, and then the ball skipping over the fielder's glove. Now Billy Scholdice up. He had a double that scored 2 runs last time, and they're going to have a pitcher-catcher talk right now. There is a runner at first. Could they be talking about maybe walking Scholdice, even with the runner at first base? It's 5-0 MSJ in the bottom of the second. The mercy rule, in case you're curious, and we got a lot of baseball left to go before this even comes into effect, is a team who is behind by 10 or more runs has to have 5 full at bats. So as you can see how far we have to go. It's only at 5-0 MSJ. Remember Scholdice last time on the first pitch in the sequence, faked bunt and then came back with a shot and a half to the right center field gap for a double. That drove in 2 runs. Oh, but I was in the back of the pickup truck coming from Proctor to Rutland at the head of the race pack for the Crowley Road Race, taped the whole event. Then my son Matthew, who is a outstanding video audio man himself, so he does professionally, was in Rutland because they have the adults racing from Proctor to Rutland in that 10K race, and they have the children race that 1K race here in Rutland. And that is up in the air, a mile going toward the back of the wall. He's going, and he's going to drop in. That's going to drive in another run. Scholdice will take second and hold up there, and there comes the second. His 4th RBI will come in the form of Haddock. So Scholdice this time hit it even further than the last time. Like I said, Haddock scores. Laddebush scores. No, he doesn't. Laddebush was out. Scholdice with a double and another RBI. Still 2 down, and Scholdice at second, and they're going to bring in a courtesy runner like they did the first time up for Big Bill Scholdice. As we go 6-0 MSJ, and I just need to turn around Champagne again. It'll come in and run for Scholdice. So Sorelli up, and they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batters into the order now in this inning. They sent 8 to the plate in the first, 6 so far to the plate in the second. And Avery's going to have a very short afternoon because he's throwing a lot of pitches and being extended in these first 2 innings. As it's 6-0 MSJ with the lead, and boy, like I said, Scholdice with 3 RBIs. I had to correct myself. He has 3 RBIs so far in the ball game. So the Mounties in this league matchup with Hartford. Everybody's set now. So Sorelli finally into the box. Pitcher's got a dry ball, and he's searching for that elusive 3rd out here. That'll be off the end of the bat, foul for a strike. That'll send Champagne, the courtesy runner, in for Scholdice, back to first base. Again, Munger Vision since November 1995, bringing you all kinds of local sports actions, from a guy I've covered from 4th grade basketball up to the college level, and everything in between, and every sport you can think of. It's been a wild ride. Been a wild ride. Oh, he didn't get fooled on that. And that's going to drop in. Yeah, another run's going to come in. And tell you what, they got the ball into the cutoff. That's where they should have gone. And Sorelli will have an RBI, as right now everybody in that lineup for MSJ making contact, and that's Champagne that will score for Scholdice. Sorelli with an RBI in the first inning, and an RBI single here in the second inning. So he's 2 for 2 at the plate. He has scored a run, and he has driven in a run. And Ryan Carter up now, and Carter walked back in the first inning. Let me see, up 7-0 after not 2 full innings of play right here. And there's the throw to first, and Sorelli will be safe. That was a close play. That was one of the better moves over there by Avery. 7th batter to come to the plate. So the Mounties have sent 15 batters to the plate in 2 innings, and Carter fooled a little bit on that breaking ball from Avery. He was thinking fastball first pitch and didn't get it. Yeah, the umbrellas are all still up in place as it's a drizzling, misty rain here at beautiful St. Peter's Field. Oh, that's going to do some damage. That's going to be cut off in the gap, and the runner will head to third base, and he's going to be in there standing up. Sorelli with some good base running, aggressive base running, and Carter with a single. And now Rich Cussell up. He had a single back in the first inning, so they have matched their total. They have sent 8 batters to the plate in the first and 8 batters to the plate here in the second. They have a courtesy runner coming on for Carter. Second time they've done that for Ryan. And again, it's going to be John Bizon. I apologize. John Bizon, number 8, coming in to run for Carter as he did in the first. Very surprised by the pitching of Avery here, how much they're able to zone in on it and tee off. That's going to be back to Avery. That'll end the inning, but a lot of damage done. 7-0 MSJ at the end of 2. In the third, you're going to be looking at the 8, 9, and then the top of the order here for Hartford. They'll have Ryan McGuire at the plate. Carter struck out the side in the second. He's got 5 strikeouts for the game, and just great location on that fastball as he overpowered him. Tim Watley's on deck, and then Sean Stone will represent the second look through the order for Hartford. They're down by 7 going into the third to MSJ. Oh, I love it. Carter's found the fastball, the control, and the command, and that's pretty much been his bread and butter pitch today. He has mixed in the breaking ball and the knuckle curve, and the slider. He's throwing with very good velocity and excellent control. Like I said, 5 strikeouts, no walks, and just 1 infield hit allowed so far in the ball game. That one got away from him as he elevated it with an 0-2 count, making it a 1-2 count now to the leadoff batter. Getting infield, beautiful, beautiful conditioning infield. They've done just such a wonderful job here, the groundskeepers. That'll be in the dirt, make it a 2-2 count. And again, the outfield has filled in beautifully. They've been working on it, and I mean, it looks just lush and green and like a commercial for a lawn care type thing. Oh, what a great location at the knee. That is now 5 strikeouts in a row. 6 for the ball game, because you go back to Flanagan in the bottom of the first, he struck him out, struck out the side in the second, and a strikeout here. That's 5 strikeouts in a row, 6 for the ball game. And the bottom of the order, Tim Watley up now, the right fielder. Now, when Carter's got his control, he is one of the most unhittable pitchers and intimidating pitchers there are in the state of Vermont. And that pitch will be a 1-ball, no strike count. 7-0 MSJ as we're in the top of the third in this league matchup between Hartford at the plate and the Mounties in the field, and that's going to be strike 1. And defensively, it looks the same to me as you have Will Haddock at first base, Colin McCormick is at second, Ryan Gilbert's at short, and Mike Sorelli is over at the hot corner on third base. Behind Dish, Bill Schuldice. Right field is Eric Ladebush. Your center fielder is Nolan Rhodes, and Rich Cussell is the left fielder for MSJ. They come in with a 4-win, 2-loss record. They're 2-2 in league play. Oh, great pitch. I'm not understanding why the batters can't get those bats off their shoulders, but Carter in a position now for his 6th strikeout in a row, who make him 7 for the ball game. He has thrown a breaking ball on 2 occasions with 2 strikes. Once it worked for him and once it didn't. So we'll see if he comes back with right here. Just overpowered him. Love it. That is just a beautiful pitch. That is a college level pitch right there. So 7 strikeouts in the game. Like I said, going back to the first inning, he has struck out 6 in a row now. Top of the order, Sean Stone up. He flied out to the right fielder, Cussell. No, let me do that again. The right fielder is Eric Ladebush. He's flied out to Ladebush. His only plate appearance. But now it's their second look through the order at Carter. And he'll come in right on the knee with a strike ball. That was great location. Pitcher's pitch right there, my friend. And Jerry Munger bringing you the spring sports. Well, 90% of the spring sports. And he did hold up. If they appealed it, he did hold up. I believe, yeah. And they say ball 1. Now, there are other people that bring in sports, just not the volume of sports that I cover. That's their choice. That's their own choice. They have an actual life, unlike me, but it is funny when I go to the store and cash out, or go through a drive-through restaurant and get my order, or just you stand, some people say, I know that voice. I know that. Are you the guy in 15? And it's kind of funny. I mean, modest about it, but yeah, it happens an awful lot. Just missed striking him out. 1, 2, 5. Yeah, 6 strikeouts in a row, 7 for the ball game. Looking to have back-to-back striking out the order. He struck the order out in the second, looking to strike out the order here in the third, and that'll be in dirt, and nice stop by Schuldice, and they'll go to a full count now. Carter has not walked a batter, and he kind of nibbled the last 2 pitches. See if he just goes to the overpowering elevated fastball here. So Stone with a full count, the right-handed batter for Hartford. Oh my goodness. He elevated the fastball, and I guess if anything, it might have been outside a little bit, but it was certainly an awful hard pitch to take with 2 strikes. So that will snap the 7 in a row tired. 6 in a row retired, I'm sorry. And they'll start off with Pat Riley, who struck out his only at bat. And there's the throw to first, and the runner back save. Haddock went down and dug it out. And Hartford down by 7, and at the number 2 spot in our order. At some point, they have got to crank it up a little bit and take some risk. Schuldice with a good arm throwing runners out behind the plate, and that looks to be catchable. And it will be caught. That's the inning. They'll strand 1, and MSJ up by 7 going into the bottom of the 3rd. So Avery will answer the bell here in the 3rd inning. He'll come back to the mound for Hartford. He has faced 8 batters in the 1st inning, 8 batters in the 2nd. He's given up 4 runs in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd. His fielders behind him have been a little bit sloppy. He had 3 walks issued in the 1st inning alone, but they have pounded the ball. Also, a bunch of doubles off from him in this ball game. Nolan Rhodes, he struck out in the 1st, and he is at the plate for MSJ. That's going to be a strike call. 2 balls, 1 strike to Rhodes, a center fielder, to be followed by Ladevich, then top of the order, McCormick. And that'll be down low, and that'll run it now to a 3 ball, 1 strike count. A.J. Hamill remains defensively at first base for Hartford. Ryan Wetzel's at 2nd, Sean Stone's at short, and Pat Riley is at 3rd. And that's going to be deep in the hole, and a base hit for Rhodes. He'll be 1 for 1 today, and see him take the corner and survey the action in front of him. Now he'll go back and settle in at first base. So MSJ will get the leadoff batter on here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Ladevich had a single himself back in the 2nd. That was his only time up, and he's had a couple putouts in the field defensively. He got thrown out trying to come home after he got that single. So he's been busy today, Eric has. And there's the quick throw over to first, and safe. Now, he had a very conservative lead, actually. It was a good move, good pickoff move, but he was back. Avery on the mound. Nick Avery. And that will get the runner over to second base. The wild pitch will. He has thrown a couple wild pitches in this ball game. Like I said, his fielding has been a little loose behind him, but he has issued walks, and wild pitches has not helped himself either. Oh, just floated something. I'm not really sure what that pitch was. Could have been a changeup that hung up, but Ladevich swinging through it, and that was about letter high, and that'll leave him the count on a 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, the pace between pitches is what he has been throwing, Avery has. Yeah, so 2 strikes now on Ladevich. He's got to protect the plate and get the bat on the ball. And like I had said, McCormick, the on-deck hitter for MSJ. From a very cool and raw and rainy St. Peter's Field, Varsity Boys baseball action on Munger Vision. Got him with the breaking ball. Good pitch to throw. That place in the count. 3 strikeouts now for Avery, and that's a big out with a runner at 2nd, as he's going to look at McCormick and Gilbert. McCormick always a threat just to drop one down here down the line to bunt. They're playing deep at the corner at 3rd, and he'll watch the breaking ball bend over the plate for a strike, and that ball thrown away. And boy, they're lucky that the runner did not move up on that. Getting the ball back to the pitcher should be a relatively easy task, you would think. They'll get a dry ball and get it into play now. And that outfield for Hartford, just to finish the defensive alignment, is Flanagan, Skelza, and Watley. And the catcher's McGuire. Avery on the mound from the stretch, and he's been pitching from the stretch basically the entire ball game. And that will just miss outside. And again, Avery having to bounce off the mound to make the grab to the pitch. The throw back to the pitcher won't get past him. 7-0 MSJ in the bottom of the 3rd. He held up. Nope, he did not. They say strike. And they'll make it a 1-2 count to McCormick. He struck out in the 1st and then laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt in the 2nd. And that just a little high. Again, a hard pitch to take with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Rhodes down at second base led this inning off with the single, advanced to second on the wild pitch. Got him. Again, looked like the changeup, but he'll get him for the second strikeout of this inning. The second time he struck McCormick out in the ball game, and that'll bring his strikeout total now to 4. And Gilbert has walked and scored twice. He's got 2 stolen bases also. As Hartford looking to keep MSJ off the board here for the first time in the afternoon. Like I said, 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second, and a threat here in the third with Rhodes at second base. And I'm waiting. No, he did not get the call on that, and I'll make it a 1-1 count now. You can always go to the website too, PEGTV.com, and just give that Munger guy a good plug. Tell him what a heck of a job he does. Community volunteer. Literally, they tallied up. I'm over 5,000 video productions since 1995, November 95. Who would have thought I wouldn't have ever been kicked out of there by now? That is a mile in the air. And it looks like it's going to be the third out. It will be, and they will not allow MSJ to score for the first time this afternoon, and it'll stay 7-0 Mounties going to the 4th. Yeah, so Hartford in the heart of their order. Hamill, A.J. Hamill at the plate. He has the only base hit off from Ryan Carter. It was an infield grounder taken by the shortstop on the edge of the outfield grass, and Carter with those 7 strikeouts will start off with a strike right there. Again, the 3-4-5 hitter, Hamill, Flanagan, and Avery. Carter with at least 2 strikeouts in each of the first 3 innings. He had struck out the side in the second. He has 7 for the ball game, and he'll be outside for a ball. He has just the 1 walk. That's how the 2 runners got on. 1 with the infield single, 1 with the walk. And other than that, he has dominated Hartford. Mounties offensively have done a good job at the plate. They've got 7 runs on the board. And that's just overthrowing right there. It's a matter of mechanics as you see him falling off toward the first base side. And he'll be down in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. That is not a position he has been in very much here in this ball game, pitching from behind in the count. As we're in the 4th, scheduled for 7. And again, always get out there, support your student athletes, whether it's Mill River softball, MSJ baseball, MSJ softball, West Rutland softball or baseball. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on right in your own backyard. And Carter will, for the first time I can remember, will go to a 3-1 count. And Schuldice coming out to talk to his big right-handed stud pitcher out there and tell him just to cut the crap and go back to what you're doing before, throw strikes. Again, Glenn Carter, the head coach at MSJ, Marty McDonough, the athletic director, Dick Densmore, the president of the Athletic Association, Paulo Zancanaro, the guy with the cool name, is the principal. And they all allow me to come here and bug everybody and tape the games, and I'd like to thank the whole MSJ community for allowing me to do that and put the games on Channel 15 Sports. And that will be the second walk of the ball game. And that'll put Hamill on base for the 2nd time today. So he's been up twice and got on twice, and now Flanagan up. He struck out in the 1st. At this point in the game, in the 4th, down 7 runs, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to try to stir things up. Maybe send the runners, get a throw down, get a ball sailing out in the center field, put a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And there's a strike called. No, because in every great pitcher's game, whether they're cruising along or what, there's always a hiccup or a bump in the road, and you have to take advantage of it, because usually a good pitcher will correct the problem, come back strong after that. He'll pitch good in the beginning, a little bump in the road, then finish strong. That's fouled off. Well, he waited as long as he could on that off-speed pitch and fouled it straight back. So very quickly, an 0-2 count now to Flanagan. Now, this is where Carter, being looked at for the 2nd time through the order now by Hartford, if they're paying attention, well, what will he throw with an 0-2 count? In the first go-around, he threw a breaking ball twice. The other times was all elevated fastballs. Carter from the stretch just threw a fastball. I mean, that thing was smoking. He took a little out of the strike zone, and that's good thinking, man. Don't throw a meatball. Just he took a little out of the strike zone, and give Flanagan some credit for not chasing it. It's a 1-2 count, and again, it's the pitcher's count right here. He can still get fancy if he wants to try to throw something to fool him. Came right back with the elevated fastball again, and now it's gone to a 2-2 count. So a very good last 2 chances there by the batter Flanagan, showing some discipline at the plate against Ryan Carter. shoulder ice will flash the sign as the rain coming down hard again here at St. Peter's Field. Got him. You know what it was? It's just location. Inside on the hands. Carter now with 8 strikeouts in the ball game. Runner at first stayed stationary, never attempted to move. He's being held on by Hanukkah. And now Nick Avery up. Avery, the pitcher, struck out in the second. And like I had mentioned, it's been drizzling and misting the whole ball game. Now it is a heavy rain. And there is a strike. That's why it's important for MSJ to get 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th, shut them out in the top of the 5th, and we'll all go home early. Nothing worse than for anybody starting a game and then having all these delays. They called a balk. Yeah, I thought he did. Yeah, Carter with the balk will send the runner to second. But as a pitcher too, this is where you got to really keep your concentration. You're dominating at the plate. Let your fielders and your catcher let you know what's going on down second base. Don't get preoccupied with the runner's lead at second. So in a heavy rain from St. Peter's Field, Munger Vision and MSJ Baseball. So after some very lean years, the last several have been very good for MSJ. And this time Carter just took too long to decide on the sign, and the batter stepped down and asked for time. Avery did and was granted time. And the pitch on the way. We'll get the... Oh, what a bend on that thing. Oh, my goodness. I wish I could shoot in high definition so you could see that. That will be called strike 2. 0-2, looking for strikeout number 9 in the ball game is Mr. Carter. Boy, again, he'll step off the rubber. I'm not sure why all of a sudden the uncomfortableness on the mound, but it's been a much more herky-jerky inning for Carter. Got him. Oh, that looked like the slider. That's 2 down now on back-to-back strikeouts after issuing the walk. That makes him 9 strikeouts for the ball game. And Logan Skelza up. He struck out in the second. It's becoming an all-familiar phrase saying he struck out his last at-bat because that's happened a lot here. So with 2 down and a runner at second, Hamill with good speed, and Skelza looking to make contact. And Carter, well, I like it. He started him off with an elevated fastball, and this time he didn't get him to chase it, but I like that. It's been working for him. He just missed that time. And remember, the rain coming down, it makes that ball pretty slick to handle. And it's a steady rain, let me tell you that. Well, I just laid on the swing, couldn't catch up to it, fouled back into the screen, and we'll have a 1-1 count as, again, I've told you once, I'm going to tell you again, you get on that TV set on Mondays at 4:30 in the afternoon, Tuesdays at 5:30 in the afternoon, or Thursday nights at 9 p.m., and you watch Sports Beat. A lot of different subjects besides sports covered, but again, that's the show that I've hosted since November 95. Episode 354. It's on the hard drive, getting set to spit it out. Nobody ever thought I'd last that long. I never had a number in my head. I just got into it and enjoyed it. Oh, good pitch. Very good pitch. That really wasn't much a hitter could do. Even if you want to go the opposite field with it, there wasn't much he was going to do with that. So Carter, looking to strike out all 3 outs here. Runner at second was a leadoff walk. And then back-to-back strikeouts, and we're here with a 1-2 count. Carter looks, Carter fires. Good night, he's out of the inning. He will strike out his 10th batter to end the inning. So at least one defensive change out there for Hartford. They have Zach Pickett now in right field. Hanukkah at the plate, and swinging at that first pitch will be fouled down toward the concession stand, and out of play for a strike. And again, MSJ, I can hear them chatting it up. They want to get more runs here. They need 3 to hit the 10-run lead and then hold Hartford scoreless in the top of the 5th, and that'll be the mercy rule, because it is. I know they've started the game and the umps want to finish this game. It's raining very hard, and also the field though is holding the water very well. I mean, it's not allowing it to pool up and create standing water. It's draining down through very nicely. That's going to be up the middle. No, it's going to be the shortstop. He'll lose his balance, and I'm not really sure what happened to him. Sean Stone got there and just fell down, and that will allow Hanukkah to be safe, and I don't think you can give him an error on that. Seriously. I mean, I'm going to give him unofficially an infield base hit. Or I can write in my book, stumble, which means the infielder got the ball and stumbled. So Hanukkah on at first, and Billy Scholdice up, and what a day Scholdice has had. 2 doubles and 3 RBIs, and he's also scored 2 runs, so he's accounted for 5 of the 7 MSJ runs. And the outfield taking about 10 extra steps back. There's a throw to first, and Hanukkah back safe. Again, very short lead over at first base for Will. And Avery, look at him between the raindrops, and it's a cold rain, let me tell you. And Scholdice is going to go the other way and put it through the hole, and Hanukkah's going to be at first and second. Now Hanukkah at second, Scholdice at first. He's enjoying a 3-for-3 day now at the plate. 2 doubles and a single for the big stud, Scholdice. Now I bring up Sorelli, who's got 2 singles himself, 2 RBIs, and scored a run. And here comes the courtesy runner in for Scholdice as he'll head into the dugout. And MSJ can get 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th to have them at a 10-0 lead. And if they can hold Hartford scoreless on the top of the 5th, the mercy rule will be put into play and the game will come to an end. And I really believe, even if it didn't happen, if they went to the 6th inning, there is no standing water anywhere in the outfield or the infield or anywhere. I got to believe the umpires, especially now they're cold and wet already, they might want to finish this thing out. They don't. So Sorelli will duck down out of that one. That was high for a ball. MSJ, with the makings of a big 4th inning, have runners at first and second with nobody down, and they're right at the Sorelli and Carter and Cussell part of their batting order. That will sail outside and make it a 2-0 count. And again, what little breeze there is blowing from center field toward first base. So, and it's really not a strong enough breeze to be a factor. Sorelli right at the shortstop, and he'll be safe. Yeah. Nice job by Hanukkah, having his head in the game and staying awake and not getting doubled up. Nice catch by the shortstop. And I'll tell you what, Sorelli stung that ball. He couldn't hit it any harder. Just happened to be right at somebody. Now Carter up. He has walked and singled. You know, on the other side of the coin, Carter here at the plate, but Carter in the field today has struck out 10, walked 2, allowed 1 infield single. Just an outstanding effort from the mound. And the umbrella is just making a colorful backdrop for me as they're everywhere in this hard rain. And I'm not sure. It looks like it's going to be played by Pickett. Yeah, he'll make the catch. So the runner going to third, and that's what they did. Yeah, that will go out of play, and he'll be allowed to go home. That is why they were aggressive. They wanted to put pressure on the defense. They made the throw, and the run will come in. It'll make it 8-0. And also they're going to award, Champagne will be awarded third base because he was already en route to second when the ball went out of play. That's why you make aggressive plays on the bases to try to create mistakes like that. So Cussell up with just the runner at third now and 2 down. 8-0 MSJ in the bottom of the 4th. Young Cussell today has singled and lined out to the pitcher. And that's a good stop on that high pitch from Avery. Avery's had to do a lot of work to get the ball back from the catcher. McGuire's been very erratic in throwing the ball back from home base to the mound. And I'm not saying that as a joke. That's something he's got to work on. You don't want your catcher or your pitcher working that hard just to get the ball back to throw the next pitch. Plus the fact, if your opponent is a very sharp running base team, they can move up on those overthrows back. Oh, he went chopping wood there. He got his hack at that one, and it'll be a strike on the swing. 8-0 MSJ with the lead. In the bottom of the 4th, scheduled for 7. No, about 7 with Mother Nature. That's going to be the inning if you'll get the ball over to first. Yep, so Hartford coming up in the top of the 5th, down 8. Ryan Carter's made it very easy on his fielders today. He has faced 15 Hartford batters, retired 10 of them on strikeouts. So my point being is the team behind him only has had to worry about the 5 outs. Wetzel, McGuire, Watley due up here. That'll be a ball. We're in the 5th, top of the 5th to be exact. And I believe Pickett will bat in Watley's spot. That's who he replaced defensively out in the field. They asked for a new ball and get it. It's a 1 ball, no strike count. 8-0 MSJ in the top of the 5th over Hartford. 4 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, 1 in the 4th, and that's where we've come to get the 8th. That's going to be fouled back on the fastball. It's been a very effective pitch along with the slider. There's been an infield single. That's been the only hit today. There's been 2 walks, and that's been the 3 base runners for Hartford. MSJ, if you go through the lineup, they've sprinkled the offense all around. Schuldice with some crushing blows, 2 doubles and a single for MSJ and 3 RBIs. And he scored 2 runs. And if you're just tuning in, first of all, where have you been? Shame on you. Missed a good game, especially for an MSJ fan or a local sports fan. They've got an 8-0 lead. Their pitcher's got 10 strikeouts through 4 innings of work. And they're getting some dry balls. I saw, like I said, I think that's Tim behind the plate. It's a big guy. I think it's Tim Barrett doing the balls and strikes, and Craig Pettis is out in the field. So yeah, they got some dry baseballs. Now Carter with the dry ball with a 1-1 count. Wetzel, McGuire, and then I think Pickett will get his first at bat in the ball game. Hartford in the red uniforms at the plate and the pitch. Right there at the knee. Nice pitch. Makes it a 2-strike count to the leadoff batter. And Hartford in dire straits here. They need base runners. Then they need to do something with the base runners when they get them on there. That's going to be put into play. Carter will take it barehanded, set himself, take his time, fire a strike. Nope, he'll throw it away. I thought he had it, so that will become an error on Carter, and he will stop at second base. So the first time they've had a leadoff batter at second base in the ballgame. And I thought, in all honesty, that Ryan really took his time, didn't panic, set his feet, and then he just threw an erratic ball. Don't forget, too, that's a wet ball. So Hartford with a runner in scoring position for the second time today. Remember, they got Hamill over to second in the 4th. He walked and got moved to second on a balk. Now McGuire up. He struck out in the 3rd. So Carter from the stretch. Nope. Elevated, but couldn't get him to chase. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes. Sorelli's at 3rd defensively. Gilbert remains at shortstop. Second base is McCormick. First base, Hadaka. Schuldice behind the plate. Ladebush, Rhodes, and Cussell, the outfield. Same place, same call. Ball 2. Yep. Coach Carter just hollered to him, said, you're starting to fall off. He's going, his mechanics, he's off balance, he's falling off toward first base, missing the follow through, and that's why his pitches are sailing up and out of the strike zone like that. It's all about focus and mechanics. Same pitch, same spot, same result. 3 balls, no strikes. We're in the 5th, scheduled for 7. McGuire trying to get on base here via the walk. Yeah, 1 pitch at a time. All those cliches come into play right now. That'll be a stop by Schuldice. That will stop the runner from advancing from 2nd to 3rd. And that'll be the first time today that Hartford has had runners on, 2 runners on at once. That's the 3rd walk of the ball game. He's at the number 9 spot, and I believe it's going to be Pickett coming in, who replaced Watley. And that could be what the bookkeeper coming out for Hartford's announcing to the home base umpire, and I do believe that's number 7, Pickett. Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to make some noise in the ball game and get this thing to 7 innings or make a comeback, you have to take advantage of this situation. 1st and 2nd, nobody down. Number 9 batter up with the top of the order coming up. Do you get adventurous? Do you try a double steal? I don't know. I can't see small balling it over. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just save some tape right here. I don't know what the holdup is, but they've got a break in the action. They came out and they filled in the front of the rubber. They brought all kinds of clay in and all kinds of people in, and they filled in the hole in the front of the rubber for Carter. Pickett is the batter, and that'll be a ball. So after having pretty darn good control the whole ball game, he is struggling here in the 5th. Talking about Ryan Carter. Hartford down 8. Runners at 1st and 2nd, though, and nobody down. He didn't show like he was going to square the bunt. And they are not deep at the corner. That's a called strike on the corner. Now, at third base, Sorelli's in on the grass playing for a bunt. I can't see small balling down 8 with runners at first and second. Whoa, again, just location. Outside corner, knee high, beautiful pitch. Swung through it, overpowered, and makes it a 1-2 count. So looking for that first out of the 5th inning is the pitcher, MSJ, Ryan Carter. He'll set, he'll kick. The runner going, and no throw down. Pitch called a ball. Now, I like that from Hartford, yep. If they would have thrown down, I don't know if there would have been a delay on the other end. They've created a first and third, nobody down situation. You know what, now, why not bunt? Well, you got, I don't want to sound cocky here, but Carter should control this situation with this number 9 hitter, Pickett, taking the first look at him. And Sorelli has backed up, back onto the dirt quite a bit actually now. First and third, and Pickett set. And I understand the 2-strike count with the bunt thing. I get that. Yeah, as he faked the... This is when a pitcher is trying to find themselves again and struggling. When they hesitate, they step off the rubber. When they do that, fake the third, dance around the first thing, they're just buying time because they weren't set to pitch. Got him. Right there is what I was talking about. He took control of the situation. 11 strikeouts now for Ryan Carter. That's the first out of this inning. Double play still in order. The runner at first and third. Sean Stone up. Sean Stone's flight out to right field, and he's walked, and he got stranded at first base. Oh, if you're Hartford, you got to send a guy on a steal from first to second right now. See if they throw down and try to move the runner from third to home, or at least second and third in scoring position, both in scoring position. Because if Carter reestablishes his control right here, I mean, this could be your opening to take advantage of and miss it. That's going to be ball 1. Yeah, on deck hitter is Pat Riley, or he's due up, actually. I don't know if he will come to the plate. Yes, he's. I can see he turned his back to me. I can see his jersey number now, number 5. Number 15, I'm sorry. Right to Sorelli, double play. It's over! Double play. Sorelli with a tremendous reflect action right there. Made the snag, stepped on the bag, and that's going to be the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 8-0 MSJ. Oh, some defensive changes to talk about for Hartford, starting with the pitching spot. 15, Pat Riley in the pitch now for Hartford. Nick Avery, who was the pitcher, has gone to shortstop, and Sean Stone, who was at shortstop, is now at third base. That pitch will be outside for a ball. The rest of that defense still has Hamill at first base. Aaron Mullen is at second base now also. That's a change out there for Hartford. Behind the plate still McGuire. Nolan Rhodes is the batter. He's 1 for 2 today with a strikeout and a single. Flanagan, Skelza, and Pickett. That is the outfield for Hartford. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 8-0 MSJ. If they can come up with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th, that will be the ball game. Great pitch. So Riley... We'll look at Rhodes, Ladebush, McCormick. 8, 9, and then the top of the order. Got him. Froze him on a breaking ball. Threw him a breaking ball with 2 strikes, and Rhodes for the second time today will go down on strikes. Now Ladebush up. He has a single, and he has struck out, so he's 1 for 2 on this cool, wet afternoon from St. Petersfield. Fouls it back over the screen on the River Street, and that'll just be a foul ball strike. MSJ scored in all but the 3rd inning. They had 4 in the first, 3 runs in the second, 1 in the 4th. They were shut down in the 3rd. And Riley dropped down sidearm and threw one old ugly pitch right there all the way to the backstop for a ball. Remember Ladebush in the 2nd inning tried to come home and was thrown out. He will make contact, and it's just a matter, nope, it will not stay in play. It'll go out of play, and it'll be a foul ball strike. That'll be 2 strikes now on Eric Ladebush. Again, don't forget the AAU basketball tournament coming up on Channel 15 Sports. The Bougiani Thunderbird basketball tournament. Then the Western Massachusetts, you get them. Breaking ball, strike 3, tagged them. So 2 up, 2 down on strikeouts. Yeah, you got the Western Mass girls and boys all-star, high school all-star basketball teams taking on the Vermont boys and girls all-star teams down at St. Joe's College on June 28th, starting at 1 and 3 o'clock. We'll have that for you on PEGTV, Munger Vision. Oh, nice cut action on that fastball, down and in to McCormick. He has struck out twice and sacrificed. And Pat Riley looking to have a good first inning of work here. He'll be up 0-2 in the count. And tell you what, he's had command of that breaking ball here. I know he's only pitched to 3 batters, but it has looked crisp and sharp. So he's looking for a 1-2-3 inning of relief. That's a missed third strike. McCormick heading down will just get it. Yeah, so a 1-2-3 fifth for Hartford. And Hamill might have hurt himself on the play. So 8-0 MSJ going into the 6th. So in the 6th, he'll be looking at Pat Riley, A.J. Hamill, and Riley Flanagan due up against Ryan Carter, who has 11 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 1 hit allowed. His team's also pulled off a nifty double play. Actually, it was Mike Sorelli all by himself, snagging a wicked line drive down the third baseline and then stepping on the bag as the runner had left to go home. And also just for the heck of it, just to have a little variety on his stats, Carter also has committed a balk and an error, and that's going to be the second base hit of the ball game. That's a shot up the middle. So Riley, who struck out the side in his relief appearance in the top, or in the bottom of the 5th, starts off the top of the 6th with a single. So that's 2 hits now off from Ryan Carter. A.J. Hamill up, he's been on twice. He had an infield single in the 1st, then walked, and he was balked over to second base. And it's getting dark out there. And still the rain now has subsided from the heavy stuff we had going on for a couple innings to just that drizzly, misty, nagging stuff now. And it is cool, real cool. Not cool like Steve McQueen, cool like cold. Of course, all the young kids watch the game while we hear Steve McQueen is. And that's Haddock with the catch. And again, Hartford sticking around. They haven't been mercy ruled in there. Again, they had a chance that last inning. The double play really came at a perfect time for MSJ. Great reflexes by Sorelli. They'll be high for a ball. Schuldice still behind the plate, obviously. Carter on the mound. Haddock over at first base. McCormick at second. He's back safe. Gilbert is at short. Sorelli's at third. Rhodes, Laddebush, and Kussel, the outfield. So in a game scheduled for 7, we might get there. You wouldn't have thought that after the first 2 innings. That is a major league wild pitch. That'll put the runner at second as that one. Again, the ball's very wet and fingers got to be very cold, and that ball just got right on up and out of here. And they'll throw back a new ball to Ryan Carter. Carter's also committed an error on a throw to first when Ryan Wetzel was able to get on base. So nobody down, runner at second. That's Riley with good speed down at second base for Hartford. Got a pretty decent lead down at second right now. Oh, great pitch. That rising fastball that's got that twist on it going away from the right-handed hitter. That's been a dominant pitch today for Carter. 2 balls, 1 strike. What a difference a dry baseball made for him on that pitch. Oh, great pitch. And again, brought the count back to even now after being down 2 balls. He's at 2-2 in the count. He has not gotten Hamill out today. Like I said, an infield single and a walk. And he's looking to get rid of the very pesky A.J. Hamill. As Hartford looking to make one of those miraculous comebacks, down 8 in the 6th. Yeah, a second balk called. Yeah, so Riley will get to third base with nobody out, and that's 2 balks in the ball game. And his head coach, Glenn Carter, hollered out, "You're moving your glove. You're moving the ball in your glove." So Runner at third. Wouldn't a strikeout be even bigger right now? And he rung him up. There's that elevated sailing away fastball. 12 strikeouts for Ryan Carter. First time he gets Hamill. Now Flanagan up. He has, I'll tell you right now, the next 3 batters have all just struck out. Flanagan struck out twice, Avery twice, Scelza twice. So an even dozen, 12 strikeouts in the ball game. 2 balks, 1 error, and 3 walks. That's the line on Ryan, unofficially, of course, because I am unofficial. That pitch for a ball. Carter hasn't thrown high into a lot of pitches, and he couldn't hold up. That could have been the slider. That was just a nasty, nasty pitch, and that'll become a 1-1 count. And what I mean by he hasn't gone deep, he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. Right now he has a glove repair as he's fixing a lace in his glove, and he's all set and good to go. This whole inning started off with a single by Riley. A wild pitch got him to second, a bat got him to third. Hamill struck out, and that's where we're at right now with Flanagan up at the right-hand side of the plate. And that will be a ball. That right there is just good discipline by Flanagan, the batter, not to chase that. Like I said, Avery's on deck, and then Scelza. As Hartford fell behind early after 2 innings, we're down 7-0. Good pitch. And he'll bring it back down to a 2-2 count. I tell you, I know he likes that slider and he likes that knuckle curve, but today it's been his velocity that's been his best friend. Oh, he lit him up. He just reared back and fired away. Nothing but heat. 13 strikeouts in the ball game. 2 down now after the runner got to third base with nobody down. He's got 2 outs on strikeouts. And Avery up. He has struck out in the second and in the fourth. And Carter looking to take care of, well, the single he gave up, then the wild pitch that allowed him to go to second, and the balk that allowed him to go to third. He's looking to erase all his mistakes right here by getting the next 3 batters. And ooh, that just missed. Ooh, that was close. Again, you can go to the website on the PEG, the website, and get the schedule. Also, if you want to download video or video on demand, you can just see the schedule and what's coming up. And again, Saturdays, that's swinging strike. That looked like the slider. Saturday afternoons at 4 o'clock, you can tune in for all the games of the week on PEGTV. Could also be the banquet. I videotaped the banquet that introduced the Western Mass and Vermont boys and girls all-star basketball teams. They'll be competing the 28th of June down at CSJ College. And also all the guest speakers. They had a ton of great coaches there, from Dave Kinsman to Dave Fredrickson to Stretch Gillum, and they'll be outside for a ball. Mike Donahue was there from, he's a professional media person. All kinds of people were there. It was a nice event. It was a cool event. And by promoting that event, I was promoting the event that I'd be taping for Channel 15. Carter just overthrowing right now. He's got a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Now, like I said, Avery has struck out. Is only 2 times up. Carter will face Scelza next if Avery's able to get on base. So Carter, in what's becoming a very dark atmosphere, will walk him. Yeah, he will walk him. That'll be the 4th walk of the ball game. First and third, you've got to send the runner from first to second on the steal. I mean, my goodness, you're down 8 runs. You've had a runner at third base with nobody down now and haven't gotten him home. And now Scelza, he struck out in the second and in the fourth, and then on deck is Wetzel. Well, I don't think it'll be Wetzel, actually. I think it'll be Mullen that'll take his spot in the order. So Carter, again, stepping off a lot, stepping out a lot. Very, well, he was just smoking along for the first several innings. He's got 13 strikeouts in this ball game. Just overpowered him. And again, not only the velocity, the location on the hands, inside and high. Because he's struck out 2 batters so far this inning. He'll come to set, and the pitch. He'll miss just high and outside. He's had 2 balks called on him. And boy, right now is not the time to get the third one with a runner at third base. The runner at first, I would take a bigger lead with my old legs. And Nat just missed. He wanted that one called a strike. I can't believe they actually haven't sent Avery yet from first to second, to be quite blunt. Not that my opinion amounts to a hill of beans. So in the top of the sixth, Hartford looking to gather a run here. And this time the batter will ask for time, and Carter will walk around. And again, he's got a 2-1 count on Skelza. The pitch on the way, and that time he just overpowered him. Schuldice came up, and I don't think he was really going to make the throw to first. It was irrelevant because the ball escaped his hand on the attempt to pump fake, and 2-2 count now as this sets up what could be the inning-ending strikeout that would bring him to a total of 14 in the ball game. I think he's had a season high of 15, but I do get confused in my old age. Looking to take care of the inning himself right here. Nope, he brought it up and high and hard, and he runs it to a full count, and he just overthrew right there. And again, you can tell the way he finishes. He's standing too erect. He's too straight up and down. He's just not getting the front foot down in a follow-through. So a 3-2 count. This will juice the bases if he walks them. Got him. 14th strikeout will end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. 8-0 MSJ. Yeah, I think you can see it in the camera now. The rain back to a heavy, heavy downpour here at St. Peter's Field in the bottom of the sixth. Ryan Gilbert up against Pat Riley. Riley will drop down sidearm, and that has been very effective for him. He struck out all three batters he faced in the first inning in relief, which was lasting the fifth inning. And he's looking at the 2-3-4 part of the order. Gilbert, Haddock, Schuldice. And that's going to be gloved and knocked down. They might have a chance, and no. He'll be at first base, and again, coming up limping is Hamill. Remember, he had a problem at the end of the last inning. I don't know if he hurt his Achilles or what, but he'll limp back to first base, and that will have to be, unofficially, that will have to be a base hit for Gilbert. Haddock up now. He has scored 3 runs today. He also has an RBI. He's had 2 singles and been walked. So Willie has been Willie. He's been very busy and productive today in the very cold, hard rain here at St. Peter's Field. Sounds like a Bob Dylan lyric, doesn't it, huh? Oh yeah, I can see it through the viewfinder. You've got to see it on your camera, on your TV screen. That'll get away, and oh, the runner should have gone. Yeah, they got him. Yeah. He was halfway to second base. He will rethink that. He should have just finished it out. So they will pick off Gilbert. 1 out, nobody on for Haddock now. And if the Mounties don't get 2 runs here in this inning, then Hartford will get through 7 innings of baseball here. And like I said, they're down 7-0 at the end of 2 innings, and that's a great pitch. Haddock will swing through it for a 1-1 count. Got a lot more. MSJ's got a lot of home games in May, and I'll be here for 99% of them. There's just one conflicting game that I will miss. Oh, and look at Haddock. He's going to have another base hit. A beautiful, sweet stroke. He's got that left-handed, sweet, sweet swing. You know what? That's not even Haddock. I got to tell you, that is Zach Richards with a base hit. He was hitting in Haddock's spot. Richards showing me, because I haven't seen him. Richards, to me, has only been a courtesy runner when I've done the games. That was a beautiful swing. That was a beautiful swing, and he got a base hit. Just think Gilbert doesn't get picked off first and second, but no. He had to get picked off. Now, that's Schuldice is due up, and that's definitely not Schuldice. I honestly can't see the number, so I don't know who it is. It looks like Shane Lee, but I'm not sure. It's just half the size of Schuldice. That's how I knew it wasn't him. That's got to be Shane Lee because he's just so skinny physique, and this guy's got a real skinny physique. As we're in the bottom of the 6th in a downpour here at St. Peter's Field, and it's not a warm summer rain. This is a... He got fisted, and that's going to drop in, and Foul. I had to wait and see because everybody kind of held up, so it'll be a foul ball. That's number 8 going back. That's John Bizon. So I've just been wrong on everything. That's Bizon at the plate. Well, he's got to put some weight on. Oh, so Bizon. We'll look at that one at the knee, call it a strike. That'll make it a 2-2 count. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the 6-8 nothing MSJ with the ball game in control. And I don't think he went. No, they said he didn't go. Gilbert led this inning off with a single, got picked off from first base, and Zach Richards pinch hitting for Hanukkah got a single, and now it's Bizon hitting for Schuldice. Got him right down the pipe. 4th strikeout in not quite 2 innings of work for the second out here, and it's supposed to be Sorelli coming up, but I do not believe it is. No, this is way too small to be Mike. This looks like Shane Lee. I think I just heard somebody holler, "Go Shane, baby." So Lee will now bat. And he will jump back from a pitch called a strike. I tell you, Pat Riley, number 15 on the mound, has been very, very effective in his almost 2 innings of work here. So he's got 4 strikeouts. And I'll be too far outside. Richards down at first base, being held on. He, again, only taking a 3 or 4 step lead off from the bag over at first. Strike 2, and Shane Lee will be down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mounties with a 4-run first, 3-run second, 1-run fourth. And Hartford with nothing but goose eggs up there. It's 8-0 MSJ. Got him. That's the inning. We'll come to the top of the 7th from St. Peter's Field. So Ryan Carter's day's work is finished. 6 full innings of work, 14 strikeouts for Mr. Carter, and he dominated Hartford for most of the ball game. Willie Hanukkah out there, the lefty. He will try to finish this thing out. It's 8-0 MSJ in the 7th, and you're going to be looking at, well, it's Wetzel's spot, but it'll be Mullen in there. So Mullen will be up, and then the catcher McGuire, then Pickett due up against Hanukkah. I have more changes for you. I'll just get this pitch underway, and it'll be ball 1. In the driving rain now, Ben Sexton has come into play left field for MSJ. Champagne has come into play second base. And Cussell is at first. I am assuming that Schuldice still behind the plate. Now I got to go up and out of the strike zone and hack at it, and that'll be a swinging strike. No, I really didn't think it'd go 7 after the first 2 innings, but Hartford gutted it out. MSJ had runners on from the 3rd inning on, just couldn't bring them around in droves like they were doing in the first 2 innings. Schuldice with a big ball game. 3 hits and 3 RBIs, and then Hanukkah had a good day at the plate, and he's got 2 strikes here. 1-2 count to Mullen. Like I said, McGuire and then Pickett due up for Hartford. MSJ looking to go to 3-2 in league play. And Hanukkah from the full windup, and that's going to be lifted out toward, yeah, it'll drop in front of Rhodes. That's a good play because you don't want to come in and miss that and have it roll past him. It's a wet turf that would just skid to the wall. So that'll be a leadoff single for Mullen. Boy, after looking bad on 2 swings, he really did a good job right there of getting that base hit. See Hanukkah go into the umpire, Mr. Barrett, Tim Barrett, and get a dry baseball. Now, I don't believe, now this is not McGuire the catcher at the plate, but I can't see his jersey number, and they're not using the PA system. So I can't tell you who it is, but it is a pinch hitter for Hartford. And MSJ will have Cussell hold the runner on first base. That's got away from him. Yeah, that'll send the runner down to second base. And actually, the runner is Mike Avery, is the man who got the single and just took second base, so it wasn't Mullen at all. It was number 12, Mike Avery. So runner at second, and they'll be down, and Hanukkah. It's a tough spot to come into. I mean, the pitch, really, it is very cold. You didn't get a lot of warm-ups. The ball is extremely wet. Your fingers are cold. That pitch is strike, 1-1. And now, I don't know if Willie knew he was coming in to pitch today or not. I'm not fretting that he'll give up the 8-0 lead. And Scholdice looking. Nope. To be out of play. Good effort by Bill Scholdice, but unless he had a pair of shears to cut through the screen, he wasn't going to get to it. And he'll throw out a dry ball to Hanukkah. And you can see the umbrellas all around. It's just a miserable downpour right now. Baseball season's so short in Vermont. It's the high school baseball and softball seasons are. They have to, it was the right decision to play the game and get it going, and it's all going to turn out okay with a hot shower and some chicken soup tonight for these guys, but that'll be high. Tried to come in the fastball, and it just rode high and be a 2-2 count now. Like I said, due up is Pickett. Whether or not he'll actually come to the plate, I do not know. Gilbert trying to loop in behind the runner at second base, Mike Avery. And that'll run it to a full count now. So again, I mentioned the changes. Cussel's now at first, Champine's at second. Gilbert remains your shortstop. Sorelli is at third. Scholdice behind the plate. Attica on the mound. Laddebush, Rhodes, and Sexton is the outfield now for MSJ. Yeah, and that's a good job of fighting off a very good pitch for 2 strikes. So we'll stay at a full count. 8-0 MSJ on Munger Vision in the top of the 7th over Hartford. Ryan Carter, the starting pitcher, can only win the ball game. He had 14 strikeouts against 4 walks today. I think a real... Got him. Yeah, got him. Beautiful pitch. And that's that motion I talk about, natural left-handed movement on the ball. So 1 out now. I think a testament to the only tough inning Carter had was he gave up a wild pitch in the box and put a runner at third base with nobody out, and that runner did not score as Carter struck out 3 batters that inning to end the threat. And that's going to be in there, and the run's going to come home. Yep, and they should just eat it. Yeah. I'm not sure where Laddebush threw that. He threw it away, and that's going around the runner. Now that's a mental breakdown right there, yeah. That's what they've really avoided today. There was no way they were going to throw the ball home to get the runner out. And it wasn't remotely to cut off. The ball just went between third and home. That allowed the runner to move up. So Hartford will get a run here in the 7th inning. Now the ball actually could just slipped out of Laddebush's hand. It is pouring rain out there. So, yeah, they're looking for a dry ball, and that was Pickett down at second base now. Sean Stone up. He is flied out to right field, walked, and hit into a double play. So Hanukkah being extended here in his inning of relief. And again, I'm only speculating, but just the Willie usually has very good control, but just the way the ball and the flight of the ball leaving his hand, it's got to be cold fingers and wet ball right now. And if he's more comfortable coming from the windup, full windup as opposed to the stretch, he should just go back to the windup with a 7-run lead and 1 down. 2 balls, no strikes. Riley and then Hamill on deck and double deck for Hartford. That's a strike. That was a perfect place ball. And Scholdice behind the plate, giving some defensive alignments out there, some changes defensively in what they want to do. Getting Munger Vision, St. Peter's Field, and baseball action for you. Great pitch. Both pitches, same location, same movement, and it'll go to a, it was a 2-2 count. There we go, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hanukkah with already 1 strikeout this inning. Looking for the 2nd out of the 7th inning. That's going to be to center field, and Rhodes hardly had to move, will make the catch for the second out. 2 down now for Hartford. They're down to their final out of the ball game. And it'll be Pat Riley. He struck out in the first, flied out to Ladebush in right field in the third, and then singled in the sixth. And Hanukkah with a strike. You notice he's gone back to the full windup here, and that'll make it an 0-1 count. No, actually he's in a stretch. He'll check the runner back to second, and came in too high. He had a bend on that son of a gun, but it came in high for a ball. 1-1 to count. And again, you know, check the local schedule. You go over MSJvermont.org. Look in the Rutland Herald, and MSJ with a lot of home games left for baseball. Actually, they're battling actually for a home playoff game. A win here puts them at 3-2 in league play, 5-2 overall. And there's a swinging strike. Hanukkah handcuffed him, and he's got up to 2 strikes now in the count. MSJ pitching with 15 strikeouts. Of course, Carter with 14 of those, but Hanukkah looking in, Schuldice with the sign, and he'll slide to the inside corner, and that's going to be fought off, and that might just drop in. That's going to drop in. Yeah, second run's going to come in, and that was just one of those cases where it was just hitting the right spot. And that'll be the second run of this inning, as Pickett will score, and they'll bring up A.J. Hamill, who struck out his last time up. So, a couple singles, an error, and those singles are all, actually 3 singles. That one was just like dropped in, like I said, in the right spot, the right everything about it. So 8-2, MSJ with the lead in the 7th. There's a strike from Hanukkah. Again, nice pitcher's pitch, inside low by the knees. And Hanukkah will be in the dirt, and Schuldice with a nice stop behind the plate to keep the ball in front of him, keep the runner down at first base. And they have elected to have Cussell hold the runner on at first. You see Hanukkah trying to dry that ball off. It is coming down very hard, the rain, and it is raw and cold out there. And if that could be the ball game, Hanukkah trying to point it out, and nope, it'll be out of play for a strike. So we'll go to 2 strikes in the count, as MSJ just 1 pitch away from the win here over Hartford. And like I said, the Mounties very defeated Mount Anthony and Brattleboro, and Hartford would be their 3rd league win. They have suffered a loss to Mount Anthony down in Bennington. They won the game here. MSJ did on their home field. And then they lost to Rutland High School. And again, Hanukkah trying to dry that ball up just for 1 more pitch. He's got a 1-2 count to A.J. Hamill. Darkness getting very dominant now. And I'll tell you what, that is a base hit. He reached up and took a high fastball and went to the opposite field. You can see Riley trucking the third, so the inning will go on. And Hartford, I tell you, it would be quite a comeback. And that was a good pitch, actually. I mean, that wasn't a hitting pitch. So the 7th batter to come to the plate will be Riley Flanagan. He has struck out all 3 times, but all 3 times were against Ryan Carter. That pitch was high outside, now the strike zone, and I'll talk about going up and getting it, and that's what Hamill did. Hamill with a couple of singles today and a walk. Oh, perfect play by Schuldice. Got to the knees, slid to his left, made his body big, smothered the ball. Textbook. And so Hanukkah really just kind of grinding through this inning here. Like I said, it's got to be tough coming in these conditions weather-wise, and that'll be fouled on the 3rd baseline. Like I said, he had an 8-run lead to work with. That was the bright spot. It's 8-2 now, but runners at the corners. And again, I know you don't want to be thrown out at second base and in the game But Hartford, when they've had the base runners on, really haven't done anything to manufacture pressure on MSJ and try to manufacture some offense. So with a 1-1 count, Haddock will fire the fastball and get him to swing at it, and now he's got it back to a 1 strike away from the win. This will not be a save for Willie, as a criteria nowhere near that, coming in with an 8-0 lead. This will just seal the win for Carter. So Haddock, 1-2 the count, 2 down in the 7th, 8-2 MSJ, and we'll bring it back around for one more dramatic finish as it goes to 2-2 the count. As Haddock getting all kinds of encouragement from the very sparse crowd now that's left here. I think if the players were old enough to drive themselves here, they're probably driving themselves home now, because those parents have gone home to get warm and dry. They're very smart parents. So with a 2-2 count, Haddock trying to close this thing out. We'll kick and fire, and good job. That was a good 2-strike. I mean, I don't care if there's 6 runs down and 2 outs. That was a great 2-strike swing. I think it was going to be a strike. He didn't leave it up to doubt. He just fouled it off, stayed alive. And again, don't forget, watch Sports Beat Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 4:35 and 9. And don't forget the Vermont All-Star Basketball Challenge coming up at CSJ on June 28th. And I don't think that's going to be, it's going to be out of play. Yeah, at that All-Star game at CSJ, the Vermont men's and women's high school basketball teams taking on Western Massachusetts. Those games start at 1 and at 3 in the afternoon, and you've got no excuse at all, none, not to be there. Fill that gym up. It is a big event. Treat it like that. Plus, you got the Bougiani Thunderbird AAU basketball tournament. I might be too close to the actual game starts to get you there to watch them live, but they will be on Channel 15 for you to watch. And tape delay. Oh, that was close. Inside, and didn't get the call, and we have a full count. So Haddock 1 pitch away from either ending this thing or loading the bases. I don't think Coach Kreider is going to take him out if he loads him. He might take a little visit to him and say, Willie, I want to go home. I'm wet and cold. But I don't think he'll yank Willie. Oh, close pitch, and he took it for ball 4, and that will load him up. So the 8th batter to come to the plate will be, well, scheduled. It's Nick Avery. He's struck out twice and walked. The meeting on the mound. The good news is there's 2 down, and there's a force out at any base. Now the umpire will call time, and Tim will get set behind home base. So Hartford going down swinging. They came in this inning down 8. They're down 8-2 right now, but the base is loaded, and a base hit would make it interesting, that's for sure. And that will be low for a ball. Again, the bright side of having the bases loaded is if it's hit to you in the infield, you just step on the bag you're near, and that's the game. The downside is if you walk this guy, you're going to walk on a run and keep this thing going, and then you're going to start losing more confidence and have self-doubt. That's foul ball. I had to wait for somebody to tell me that's a foul ball. That thing was pulled. It's a curveball that hung up on him. And tell you what, he got around and turned on it and drove the ball down the third baseline. Foul. I'll make it a 1-1 count. Plus, I know I got to be getting awful close to the end of my tape. And I wasn't worried about that till this inning when things got prolonged. Last game I did here against Brattleboro. Oh, strike. No, actually, it was a game here against Mount Anthony. I went to 1 hour and 56 minutes, which means I only had 4 minutes of tape left to work with. Brattleboro was 147. This has got to be dangerously close to 2 hours right now, tape-wise. And that's going to be out of play. It will be out of play. The 3rd time this inning, this could be the pitch. Nope, he will foul it off again. The count, a dry ball in his hand, and Willie Haddock looking in to Bill Schuldice, and the lefty to the plate. No. A 2-2 pitch, and the base is loaded. Oh my goodness, that was close. He'll work it to a full count. In play. Gilbert says he's got it, and did he? He'll show him for the out. A dramatic way into the ball game. Hartford will go down swinging, but they'll come up 6 runs short. 8-2 is the final. MSJ with the win. Ryan Carter with 14 strikeouts. Hope you've enjoyed this Munger Vision production. Get out there, support your student athletes, and always support Munger Vision.